y'all. What is up? It's your girl, Chris. Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred and Secure Pod. So we are back with part two with my mom, Miss April. Boo, 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 boo. Y'all, welcome her back to part two. Whoa! So during the last episode, we left off with her pretty much talking about her experience as a mother. And so we are back again with the second half of that. And I really do think she's going to give you guys some value when it comes to being a wife, when it comes to being a mother, and all of the other things. So just a little bit about her. She was a daycare owner for literally 30 plus years. She was married for a little over 30 years. She has so much experience when it comes to hospitality. Y'all, she sings. She is very charismatic, right? Like people think that she's quiet. No, ma'am. Sis love to talk. Okay, she love to yep, 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 yep. She's also a secret talent. She loves to write, y'all. She likes to write. She's the reason why we write. Okay, why we do what we do. She has an entrepreneurial spirit. Just so many things about her. So y'all, welcome back. My mom, Miss April, back to part two. Boo, 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 boo. Say hello.
Hello. It's nice to be back.
Hello. Yes, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So the last question we left off of was one of the things that I said was that as an adult, I am realizing that because I have four, or you had four children, I have three other siblings. It is hard to raise four different personalities. How do you how did you and my daddy raise four big-headed, disrespectful, talking back kids?
It was very interesting. For me, my girls, yeah, honestly, the girls for me was I mean, y'all was simple. Y'all didn't do a whole lot. And the personalities was definitely different. Like your older sister, she was very, very quiet. You didn't have to say too much to her. And your middle sister, she was in between. She was pretty quiet, but she would definitely tell you, tell you what's on her mind. You, on the other hand, you came with a personality all of your own. And I just knew when you got older, you was gonna be something very, very special. What it was gonna be, I had no idea. But I'm definitely proud of you. But my son, oh my goodness, he taught me how to pray. He was so different. He needed more. He was so active. And the girls, for me, y'all wasn't as active. But he changed my life. I tell everybody, he changed my life for the good and
Uh,
for a life.
let me tell you, for sure. So y'all, I have a brother. His name is Chris. Right? Chris changed everybody's life. Okay, let me tell you, baby, the amount of fights me and Chris had, the amount of times he lied to my parents and said that I did something to him, and the amount of whoopings that I got. Okay, specifically from my daddy. My daddy will whoop me the moment Chris said something. He will whoop me, and Chris is lying. Chris, I will never forgive you for that. But yeah, it was interesting having a little brother because boys have so much energy. Oh my gosh, it
Oh my
requires so much. Oh my goodness.
oh my goodness.
Um, so much. My next question for you is was there ever a time where you felt like you were failing as a mom?
Of course, I think that's every mom, that's every parent. That's something every parent that goes through that. I mean, there's so many things you're learning while you're having children. It was so many times I felt like I felt particular time when I had to leave. And just knowing that you guys, I didn't feel like, it affected you guys because you was older. But came to realize that yeah, it had some type of effect on you guys.
Okay, so give us context, right? You said that you left. What does that mean? Like, why did you have to leave?
I had to leave because I was in an emotional abuse situation. And it's something you never really want your children to see because whatever children see, that's what they rehearse in their life. Whatever they see, that's what they become. Because if you don't have a great role model if you don't know what marriage looks like or a positive person in your life and it's very emotional, abusive, I mean, it leaves a scar. It also leaves your children scarred. But yeah, it was very emotional. So I had to find the courage to leave. 'Cause it was very, very hard. Like I said, even though the kids was y'all was older, it still was hard to leave because I was always a stay at home mom. It was
Mhm.
very difficult.
Okay, so walk me through that process, right? Like, what is something that people don't understand about being in an emotionally abusive relationship? Like, what are the signs?
Oh, being in an emotional abusive relationship is worse than physical because physically you can see the bruises, you can see the black eye, you can see the bruises on your neck or your arm, but emotionally, no one would ever ask you, what's the matter, how are you doing, or are you happy, or anything to those type of matter. But emotional is worse because it takes so much out of you. It it's it mess up your self esteem. I mean, just believing in yourself, you're embarrassed. You because you got this facade, you got this perfect relationship, you're in this perfect marriage, and it's such a facade that you're embarrassed to tell anyone. And like I said, physical, you can see physical, so you tend to leave. But if you're emotionally attached, you're there because you really can't see the signs.
That's very good advice, I think, especially for women nowadays. Even when it comes to dating nowadays,
Mhm.
it's a whole nother topic for a whole a whole nother conversation. But the reality of dating and the manipulation and the narcissism, it's real and it hits close to home. So take us back though, like when it comes to your journey, you were married early, right, at a young age. Take us
Mhm.
back to young April. She got married at 20. What happened in that relationship to where you noticed that there were certain things happening like that wasn't healthy?
Oh wow, like, I was 20 years old, and in the beginning, it was just very emotional. It started off very early in the marriage. For instance, like I mean, we had just gotten off our, our honeymoon, and it was things like he wanted to buy me a particular item, and I was like, I'm good. I don't have to have this particular item. And he just all of a sudden he just looked at me and said, "Oh, you too good for me to buy you anything?" And that just blew my mind. It was just a lot of just walking on eggshells all the time. Don't know what to expect when you
Right.
come home, and just if the person is insecure, they're gonna also make you feel insecure. So yeah, it was very different.
And I can imagine difficult, right? Like having to go through that for over 30 plus
Yeah.
years. It does
Hmm.
a lot to a person mentally and
Yeah.
emotionally, right? So what kept you going like during those difficult seasons? Because 30 plus years is a long time to be in this environment where you feel like you have to protect yourself against somebody you're in covenant with, right? Like, how do you even keep going in those seasons? How did
And
you
not,
do it?
and not only protect myself, but trying so hard to protect your children. Oh man, that's the hardest. That's the hardest because you're in something that you feel like you're drowning trying to save them. Definitely, it was only by the grace of God. And then families and my family and friends, a lot of time they didn't know what was going on, but sometimes they would just, they would just be there. Kind word, laughter. We always have good times, and just believing what God word says. I mean, knowing that He will give you that peace that passes all understanding.
Awesome. A little bit, I guess, more on that aspect, right? Like, how did motherhood affect the way you navigated that particular relationship? Like, you talked about what it was like to have to protect yourself and your children from their own father, right? In a way. How, like, what else and what are the ways that you feel like you as a mother, like, how did you grow and continue to go through that experience?
Well, I definitely did. I had to find the courage. I had to find the courage to leave. It was very hard, very hard. But after I found the courage to leave, I also find the courage to believe in myself again. I went back to school. It was a big challenge, but I challenged myself and I went back to school. And just through my faith and family and through you guys just encouraging me all along the way, it was nobody but God. Nobody but God.
Okay, cause baby, you did that, honey, cause you did that, okay? You did that. And it's really hard, and I think that's my next question too is, like, as far as healing afterwards, right? Like, you were a stay-at-home mom for all these years, you were in a marriage for all these years, you finally get the courage to leave, and so you have to rebuild your life all over again, and you're coming into a life that after it's almost like after 30 years of being in this cage, you're being reintroduced to life. Like,
Yeah.
what does life look like now? What does technology look like now? How do you go back into the workforce now after being, entrepreneur for so long and being like in your own bubble? What were the challenges with that process?
Basically, it definitely was a challenge because I had to reinvent myself. I had to definitely, um, learn new things, learn a different way, be open. I had a little bit of problem with being open, trying new things, meeting new people who helped me along this journey so much. The friends I met here, the family here, and you guys, it just opened up so much for me. And I'm just so thankful for that.
Yes, honey, you are living your best life in Atlanta, okay? And it's so funny too because, like I said, I actually had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and she's like, I looked at the first part of the podcast. She's like, your mom seems like she's like very laid back, very like, come to my home, and I'm like, girl, sis be outside, okay? Sis be outside living her best life. You call her, she at the movies, at dinner, at church, at a women's event, going to prophesy, lay hands, speaking in like she always always somewhere. So you have this new journey, right? Like you have this new space of being
Mhm.
in a new environment and now you're living your best life. What does freedom like truly feel like?
Oh my goodness. Freedom feels like a peace that I had never had before. It's like I say, learning new things, meeting new people. And I guess you guys are used to me being at home until
We
I
were
discovered
prior to 10 years ago, we were. Now we don't expect you to be home, okay?
and I just discovered so much about myself. I discovered I love the mountains. I love hiking. I love going biking. I love the beach. I love waterfalls. I just learned so much about just learning so much about myself that I didn't know before because I was so busy raising children. Now I'm just learning how to love me.
That's a great point you're making, right? Because you are technically an empty nester.
Mhm,
You have, adult children and you've spent most of your life raising children. Now you're in a place where you're more independent and you have to worry about you.
mhm.
What does that dynamic look like in like parenting? Uh,
Well, I'm blessed that I am an empty nester and I don't have any small children at this particular time. But what one thing I am looking so forward to, oh man, is my grandbabies. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm coming in to move in for 3 months. I'm gonna have my own room, but I'm looking so
okay, not you
forward.
already claiming your mother suite, honey. Not you already claiming a mother suite.
I'm looking so forward to my grandbabies, and that's gonna look so different. What? Because I parent the way my mom parent, and the good thing about my mom and people who was born in my age, they didn't say anything they didn't mean, and they meant what they said. And I think that's how I raised you guys. And you guys was very respectable. There was some days where I had to get that bed out. Some days, but
A lot of
I'm at
days. At least for me.
yeah. So I'm at the stage where I am looking so forward to my grandchildren, and I don't really know how that's gonna look because, like I said, it was so different raising you guys, and the kids today, they are so different. They are totally different parenting
All
my
right. Well,
grandbaby.
y'all heard her. Y'all heard her, which means that in order to have grandbabies, the kids need spouses. So
They on the
yeah,
way.
I guess they're coming. I guess the spouse is coming. I want to go back just for a quick second. And then I want to end it on a good note. So you mentioned that the last time you left, right? Like, you were able to finally break free from this marriage. Did
Mhm.
you ever try to leave before? Like, or did you have thoughts or ever make plans like of wanting to leave?
Actually, I never left before, and in my mind, I wanted to, but I just didn't have the courage to. And because you guys was younger, and in my mind, I didn't think I could leave back then because back then I didn't have any credit cards, and the thing is, he was the head of the house. He paid for everything, so I didn't feel like I had the ways, the means to leave. And I figured, if you guys get older, the older you get, it'll be much better. But I thought about it, but I couldn't go through it. But I think it was all in perfect timing. Everything God got perfect timing for everything. So,
Amen to that. Okay. I appreciate you, even for being transparent with that, right? Like that's your story, and I'm glad that you're owning your story. I want to end this on a good note. So my last question is, what does being a good mother mean to you now versus what it meant to you back then?
back then, it for me, it meant just providing, make sure you guys had Christmas, had school clothes, had just any events that was important to you guys. But now that I, don't been through a lot and seen a lot, and the way children are raised today, it's all about being emotionally attached. It's- And kids don't. The only thing they want is your attention. They don't want all the things. I mean, some of them do, but they at the end of the day, if you spend time with your child, spend just quality time with your child, that's what they're looking for. They just looking for that little bit of time. And I wish I would have known that back then that I know now. It's all about quality time.
Absolutely. And it's never too late to change,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Mhm.
understand that now, being that you're so much more, wiser. And it's never too late to, implement those things, right? Like I believe that no matter how old children are, that they're always
Exactly.
going to need their parents. They're always
Exactly.
going to need that emotionally, understanding, and they're always going to need their parents to show up for them. And I think anybody can agree with that, right? That
Right.
was great advice that you gave. Did you have anything else you'd like to end with? Do you have any events coming up? Are you ever planning to release a book? What's next for Miss April?
What's next for Miss April is to be a grandmother. And I'm just so proud of you guys. I'm just so honored to have God have blessed me with four beautiful, wonderful, creative, intelligent, beautiful inside and out children who cares for me all the time, not just for a certain occasion, but it's every occasion. And I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed and so thankful for my beautiful babies and especially for you. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. You make me so proud. The things that you do, just the light that you shine with. I mean, your boldness, your sweetness. I'm just so thankful for you.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, child. Thank you, child. Thank you, child. Thank you. I would say too, like I'm a product of my environment, right? Like the way I was raised, the way that you raised me. I think that I wouldn't change anything. It's a part of my story. It's a part of who I am now, and it's a part of the reason why I can relate to so many women and why women is my ministry. So I also want to
Mhm.
give you your flowers. Like, thank you for being bold to and strong to stay in a relationship, even if it wasn't healthy, for the sake of your children. Like, thank you for growing. Thank you for coming on this platform and being transparent with your story, because I think so many other women are going to look at you and be encouraged to leave their own,
Right.
unhealthy situations. So thank you for being on this platform. We and hopefully you can come back again, girl. Hopefully you can come back again. Okay, okay, okay. All right, y'all. Well, thank you again. I hope today's episode really blessed you. Once again, go ahead and buy my book, Love Did Not Break Us. It is a romance novel. Think about Love Jones a little bit, kind of, sort of, not really, meets a little bit of Tyler Perry romance, but like the early version of Tyler Perry, not the new stuff today. So thank y'all again for watching this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and we will see you again. Bye.
Bye.